Can you imagine new drugs to market in record speed, new solutions for the way that people will feel on a day-to-day basis, but also being able to predict disease in certain demographics, in certain countries, and then being able to counter that in the most effective way possible.
Welcome to AI Factor, coming to you from the NASDAQ market site. Today we're joined by Rosanne Kincaid-Smith, COO of Northern Data Group, to discuss the impact of AI on the data sector. Welcome, Rosanne. Thanks for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
What are some of the biggest ways that you see AI transforming sectors?
Let me use the example of healthcare. So with all of the new white papers that are coming out, all of the research that is being done in medicine at the moment, we are now able to use AI to analyze all of that data, review the white papers at record speeds, and then go over new novel ideas to apply in real-world scenarios. Can you imagine, in that kind of scenario, new drugs to market in record speed, new solutions for the way that people will feel on a day-to-day basis, medicine delivered, but also being able to predict disease in certain demographics, in certain countries, and then being able to counter that in the most effective way possible. We'll be able to prolong life, and we will be able to make sure that people live much healthier lifestyles.
As we know, AI requires a lot of computational power. How is high-performance computing meeting the needs of AI where it's at today?
At Northern Data, we configure what we call supercomputers. These are 2,000 or more GPUs in a single cluster, which allows scale foundational model training. And that's ultimately the technology that is underpinning the AI revolution.
How is Northern Data planning to keep up with the rapid growth of demand for the infrastructure that's powering AI growth, like data centers?
So data centers are actually the backbone of our business. We've long time held a very core focus on innovation, particularly in data centers. So we own our own data centers, as well as work with third-party co-location providers to house that GPU-based infrastructure. But we are continually looking for access to land and to power, and we're currently evaluating up to 3.2 gigawatts of power and data center provision at any one time in our portfolio. The other thing that's really important when it comes to data centers is that they draw an awful amount of power, and all of this GPU-based infrastructure that is used for model training is also very, very power hungry. So efficiency in data centers is very, very key.
Yeah, you touched on a really important point there that I think has become really central to discussions about the AI future, which is how we're going to power it. And so how are you sort of confronting that energy challenge?
Traditionally, actually, data centers have been powered with grid electricity. At Northern Data, we have tended to favor hydroelectricity because of its sustainability aspects. But I definitely see that we are now edging into a future that is going to be powered by nuclear. Nuclear, of course, being an extremely sustainable energy source, but provided, of course, that it is set up and deployed in the right way.
And so what are those right ways?
Making sure that it's safe and secure and housed in the right type of facilities, because of course we don't want to have any long-term disasters when it comes to nuclear power. But of course, if we use it in small modular sectors, and you see a lot of mini reactor theories coming out at the moment, those kinds of instances, particularly for data centers, could mean that we could power data centers at a very, very high rate of usage for very, very long periods of time.
Northern Data acquired the NVIDIA H200 GPUs and is one of 11 sovereign AI funds to have access to NVIDIA's powerful Blackwell chip. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that means for you and what that means for your clients?
So the H200 GPUs are even more performant than the original GPU, which is very commonly known as the H100. So we were able to offer our customers an even more performant GPU, which is far more efficient. And in the context of power, very, very much more efficient in power usage too. The Grace Blackwell chips, on the other hand, is something I get quite excited about. So we have this commitment to direct-to-chip liquid cooling and highly efficient data centers. Grace Blackwell is a chip that really leapfrogs technology, but also helps a lot with cooling because it is direct-to-chip liquid cooled, and so therefore much more efficient. And we're able to manage its performance with that direct-to-chip liquid cooling in our data centers in a far more efficient way than we could with other GPUs.
Right, and so can you walk me a little bit more about what the Blackwell and the H200 do for you guys?
H200 we use very specifically for model training. So the type of customer who would come to us asking for an H100 or an H200 is likely to be a scale model trainer or have a model that they are trying to fine-tune to get better results from. Grace Blackwell does the same thing, but it's 30 times more performant and also has better inferencing capabilities, which means that you can get more out of your model in the long term.
Right, and what does that look like for companies specifically?
So for companies who are wanting to use Grace Blackwell, they would be able to train their model in record speed. And then when they are wanting to inference that, they'd be able to do that again very, very quickly and at a much larger scale.
We've seen the demand for AI really ramp up very quickly in the last few years. What do you see as the long-term game, both sector-wide and for Northern Data?
I think sector-wide, we are going to see a little bit of consolidation in terms of what people are looking to train and how they inference. But certainly the applications of that AI, I think, is going to be very much focused on real societal progress. Healthcare, education, and climate management will be some of the major themes that I feel will come out in the next sort of 3 to 5 years, and that will really impact the way that we live and work. For Northern Data, our plan is absolutely to continue to enable our customers, one, with the most cutting edge GPU technology, and also then to give the right type of environment, i.e. we continue to build our data centers in the way that we believe is the most sustainable. And then we want to also work with our customers to give them dynamic enablement solutions. And that means we are going to help them to commoditize the AI asset that they are training and help them to take it to market with the various services that we provide.
How can sectors balance the risks of AI with the benefits that innovation can bring?
I mean, for me, this is all about education. Teaching people how to get the best out of AI will mean that industries and businesses will be able to augment capabilities, have their staff be more productive, do more, and open more opportunities. So then on the other side of that educational piece that companies must embrace, there is a lot of risk to the sustainability agenda. So doing things in the right way is absolutely paramount. Making sure that you work with providers and third parties who are focused on doing things in the right way and providing infrastructure like we do at Northern Data with sustainability at its heart will mean that that innovation doesn't cost the earth. And then from an innovation perspective, I think definitely we need to be focusing on the things that will be driving that societal change. So like the things that I mentioned earlier on around things like healthcare will become paramount, and we need to make sure that we are focusing on delivering outcomes in those areas.
Great, thank you so much. This was a really informative conversation, and it was great to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
I'm Rocio Fabro for Quartz. Thanks for watching, and stick with QZ.com.